Speaking of sabotage, we'll come back to some more super chats in a bit. Is your defense sabotaging your season, LB? Because it was another poor day in the office for you guys, and many people talking about a bit of a mini crisis at Man City.
I think there's still a lot that's going on, man. I'll be real with you. I don't know, man. We just look like a very, very fragile team in that when something small goes wrong, it's just affecting the side. Like, you remember a couple of years ago, there was a period of time in the season, I think it was the treble year, where it was like 10 games, like in the space of 20 matches, where we kept on going 2-0 down, but we won every single game. And like when we went 2-0 down, we wouldn't just be sitting there thinking, oh, we can get a draw. We'd still be thinking we can win the game at 2-0 down. Unfortunately, 2-0 down, I don't even think we're going to get a point anymore. Like the team's mentality seems really shook. You know what I mean? And when that happens, it works both ways. You know, when your team's riding the waves and they've got so much confidence, nothing can stop them. And you go 2-0 down and you can still win football matches because there's a air of invincibility about your side. But it goes both ways. When your confidence is low and your mentality is not there, you're just shook. And I just think we need to go back to basics, man. Try and just scrap wins, no matter how. Like, forget about playing well. Forget about, you know, tiki-taka football. Forget about all the fancy stuff and just get wins. You know what I mean? And at the moment, we're not doing that. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of stuff that we can go into, but there's a lot of stuff that all. It's not just one thing. It's not just the defense. I think, you know, managerial team selection is one. Managerial in-game tactics is another. Players just not doing the basics right. Experienced players not playing, showing experience on the football pitch. Then you're talking about, your actual defending, keeping the ball, not giving the ball away in stupid areas, being clinical. Do you know what I mean? We had it at 0-0 against Spurs. We had a huge chance with Marmoush put us 1-0 up. Don't take it. They go down the other end and score. First half against Brighton, we had 2, 3, 4 opportunities to score. Only take one of them. You get pinned. So there's loads of stuff going on at the moment, man. But we've got to fix it quickly, because obviously you lost 2 games out of your first 3. Apparently that's the worst start we've had since 2004. And our record against the traditional top 6 sides is, in the last 2 years, I don't know if you guys know, how many games you reckon we've won against the last top 6 in the last 2 years? So last year when we were bad, and the year before we won the league, how many wins the last? There's 21 games we've played.
5 wins.
21 games. What are you saying, Aaron? How many do you reckon we've won?
I thought it was going to be a less than that. I reckon about 4. Yeah.
We won 6 out of 21.
Wow.
And by the way, that includes a title winning season. So we're really struggling. Yeah, we're really struggling against the top teams. You saw that last year in the Champions League. Didn't even get into the knockout stages. Poor against Real Madrid, getting beat, you know, drawing against Feyenoord. Like, we're struggling. Any decent team at the moment, we're struggling against. And obviously our next 2 games are against traditional, I say traditional because United are one of them, traditional top 6 sides. You've got United at home and then Arsenal away. And I'm being honest with you, I think we'll get beat against Arsenal. I've got zero hope we'll beat Arsenal. I don't think we'll get a point out of it. So you have to beat United just to stay in relative touching distance, man. Do you know what I'm saying? So there's loads of stuff going on. Listen, I think the signings that we've made are a positive. Are they enough? I don't think they're going to be enough to win us the league. I got to be honest with you. But they should be enough to keep us in sort of conversation, man. I think Donnarumma's a fantastic signing. I'm over the moon with that. Obviously, Rodri's back, which is great. He played quite well against Brighton, so that's good news. But I don't know, man. Listen, I'm kind of glad the international break's here. You know, I think the players need to play. I think they need to get some minutes in the legs. I don't know if you watched the first half, but the first half against Brighton, which was actually pretty good in the first half, there were still signs of rustiness. So I actually want the players to play. I know a lot of people don't want their players to play in the international break. I actually want the City players to play. I think they need to get minutes, and then they need to come back, and then you have to win the games. There's no more, because you've got off to such a bad start. Yeah, then you're under pressure. We're already under pressure to deliver wins.
Man United, listen, we haven't been great. I actually think we've performed better in games. We haven't scored the goals. But there's a chance we go to the Etihad and beat you. We beat you last year when we weren't good either. You know, to lose 3 on the bounce out of your opening 4 games. I mean, I'm not saying you can never win the title in the first 4, 5, 6, 7 games of the season, but you could end up being 9 points off top that early. And it doesn't matter that there's still 34 games left. Turning around a 9-point swing when you say your record against your fellow kind of top 6 sides, especially the title contenders, is so poor. You're at a stage where you're not out the race, but you're not far off. Do you know what I mean? There's only so many points you can be behind that early until you say, well, how are you going to turn it round? And I swear you play I swear you play Arsenal after Man United. Or
yeah, we've got United, Napoli, Arsenal in our next 3 games, which
you lost the bounce against us.
It's looking really bleak based off of the last couple of years of playing big teams. We have struggled. So, this is it for me now. Like, you spent 300, 400 million quid in the last 2 transfer windows. Yeah, Rodri's back. You've got one of the best goalkeepers in world football. There's no more excuses. We have to deliver the goods. Yeah, you can't just be fucking losing all these games against anyone slightly decent.
You lose those games against United and Arsenal, and maybe my hot take of Pep quitting by Christmas comes true, bruv.
Well, I'm starting to think. I started to think Pep's going to go at the end of the season anyway. I don't think he's going to walk halfway through the season. I don't think City would ever sack him, but I'm just starting to get the feeling that he's just going to go at the end of the year and City going to make a change.
Something your manager said years ago, before he was a City coach, about Sir Alex. I'm not going to remember it verbatim, but he basically said, forget the trophies, forget the records, forget the brilliance, forget the tactics. He went, the bit about him that I've got the most admiration for is how he kept himself motivated for 25 years at one club. And at the time, Pep had done no more than 4 years at a club. And I think that people forget this. Pep is still a fantastic manager. He's one of the greatest of all time. Even if you came 6th this year and didn't win a trophy, for me, it doesn't undo what he has achieved. And I stand on that. He could just have got to a point, and this is elite sport. So 5% is massive. If he's 5% off the pace in sense of, imagine just cutting a little corner here and cutting a little corner there and not doing this extra bit of study in there and being a little bit lax with players when they don't do things right there. I'm talking little bits. That starts to add up over time, because it isn't like in these games you're losing. Really, it's not like you're disgustingly bad for 90 minutes and you're being battered. It's often you're in the game, you're there or thereabouts, and something bad happens and you're just not able to recover. And often, Man United, we've been crap for 13 years and got worse. And it's because we don't have the right day-to-day standards. And I just get this little feeling with Pep that maybe he's just had enough, even if he hasn't realized it himself yet. Does that make sense? It's just like mental fatigue. He's been at you guys the best part of a decade. Even in the 70s and 80s, that's a long time to be at a football club. The media scrutiny. No, he hasn't. And exactly. And the media scrutiny now, the pressure that you're under, the level that he was at as well, to maintain that. There could just be this element of, I'm not saying he will walk. It's a hot take. It is what it is. I think you're right. He probably wouldn't get sacked mid-season. But you might find that if he left tomorrow and you went out and got another world-class coach, you might find a bit like Liverpool with Slot, that your team just clicks back into gear because a new voice is as good, a change is as good as a rest. And there's a new emphasis, a new voice, maybe not even massively different instructions, but just coming from somebody new. Like there's a bit of a stoutness there. But I watched him in that last 30 minutes on Sunday, and this isn't any smoke because I'm not in a position to do it to any team. It didn't feel like I was watching Man City. It didn't feel like a Pep team. You had class players on the pitch. You couldn't string passes together. And I don't mean it rudely against Brighton, but the last 3 times they've played you, if you're an alien coming out of space and you never watched football before and you watched those games and said, which ones did a 4P, which ones did the treble, which one have the greatest manager of a generation, I don't think you could tell the difference. And that for me is something you could always, City's teams have just been so much better in the last 8 years than everybody else, barring a couple of years with Liverpool and Arsenal. But yeah, it doesn't look great right now. And listen, I'm probably going to end up eating my words here, but United have got a chance of going to the Etihad and winning. And I don't feel like we have a chance of winning in most games. But for some reason, playing City, I feel like there is. There really is.
I can't disagree. That is the fact. Like I say, it's put up or shut up time now for City, because if we don't win the next 2 games, or at least get a minimum of like 4 points, like you could say that it's looking bleak after 5 games. You know what I mean? And that is pretty shambolic, really. Like no one can, not even the top Glazers can say anything about that. Like that is just a fact. So listen, like I say, I think it's good the players are going on international break. I want them all to get minutes. I need them to come back fitter, less rusty, and then it's no excuse time. Like, you know, go play United, who are terrible at the moment, and go and get the 3 points and just build from there. But I'm not really looking at performances right now. I'm already in the just get me 3 points stage, you know. Because the thing is, after the next 2 games, after United and Arsenal, I think we've got like 3 like winnable games. I think we've got like Burnley, Bournemouth, or someone like for three teams that really should be winning. So we can, you know, you can quite quickly get yourself on a little bit of a run, and then all of a sudden the confidence comes back. You start playing better, and before you know it, you're on a 10-match winning streak. But you've got to start somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So why not start against United and Arsenal?